Hello everyone, hi, I'm Matt from Forbidden Planet London, and I have been getting such great feedback from you all on my comic book review videos that I am brilliant, that I am amazing, that I am incredibly humble. So I thought, why don't we all treat you all to a new series, a new spin-off series about recent release graphic novels. So we're going to get things started with Conan the Barbarian #1 from Titan Comics. This is a fantastic start to the new series from writer Jim Zub and artist Roberto Della Torre. I only recently discovered Conan, and this series ticks all the boxes you want. You've got big muscly barbarians, you've got sword fights, you've got high action adventure, you've got your fantasy, and you've got, I think, almost sort of, most importantly for me, you've got this sort of brilliant art where not only the pencils but the colours as well sort of both evoke that sort of original classic Conan but with a very sort of modern spin, and I think this is brilliant. Yeah, it just, the whole series just scratched that sort of barbarian adventurer itch, and if you love Conan you will love this series. And also, if you love the artist Mike Mignola, we have this variant edition of the graphic novel available at Forbidden Planet from Mike Mignola himself, which again is just great and provides you just a little bit of extra variety, bit of choice for your bookshelves. And then we're going to go over to Scott Young's I Hate Fairyland for this series, which is Untold Tales of I Hate Fairyland. This is a brilliant sort of anthology series. If you've wanted to get into I Hate Fairyland but you've not been able to track down perhaps those original volumes, this is a great way to jump in and see the world through all sorts of different stories from all sorts of different writers and artists. Scotty Young jumps in every now and again for a few stories and then hands the baton over to an absolute, like, just pure sort of smorgasbord of talent, and there'll be names you know, names you don't know. This is a great place to jump into this world and discover all sorts of new creators and just wonderful, wacky, and also definitely very 18+ stories. And then we're going to go over to the Energon universe for Void Rivals #1 from Robert Kirkman and Lorenzo De Felici. This is the start of the Energon universe, and it's great. It's two creators at the top of their game, introducing sort of new concepts and new characters in a world with familiar elements. You have a sort of an almost sort of Romeo and Juliet kind of friendship between the two main characters, two people from two warring species who are trapped together and have to survive. And most importantly, you have Transformers appearing as well. And you have, yeah, this great sort of world building, universe building bits and bobs. But it doesn't ever lose sight of that core story of two people from completely different worlds, different perspectives, working together and finding common ground to survive. Highly recommend this. And yeah, the Energon universe is doing amazingly at the moment. And there's some great stories being told by great writers, great artists, and this is where it all starts. Jump on board at the beginning would be my recommendation. And then we're going to go for something that's not a new release, but is a recent restock here at Forbidden Planet London, and a series that I've just finished reading. We've got BATGIRLS from Becky Cloonan and Michael Conrad, and a variety of artists. We've got Neil Gouge, and we've got, I think it's Robert Rodriguez. Yeah, we've got Jorge Corona even on the first volume here, and I absolutely loved this series. I took a little while to get to it because there's just so much to read, but I'm so glad I did. I love Stephanie Brown, I love Cassandra Cain. I'm a big fan of Barbara Gordon, particularly as Oracle, but also as Batgirl more recently. And we get to see them all just at their best here. We've got Barbara operates both as Batgirl and Oracle, so you're very much having your cake and eating it too there. And you've got this great story running through it about the incredible love and friendship and support from Stephanie to Cassandra and vice versa. And of course, you've also got your typical superhero fights. You've got a bit of conspiracy. You've got some sort of social issues as well are explored. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. I thought I would enjoy this, and I absolutely loved it. And we've got all 3 volumes in our London store at the moment. I really recommend, if you've been sleeping on this series, come on down, give it a go. You won't regret it. And then we're going to go to a re-release now, a fancy new deluxe edition re-release of The Kingdom for the 25th anniversary. This is by writer Mark Waid, and is his sequel to the classic Kingdom Come. This is a sort of series of one-shots. If you like that sort of structure with, say, Grant Morrison's Multiversity, this was one of the first sort of series to do that, with those sort of interconnected one-shots with all sorts of different characters. We've got so many artists, I'm going to have to read a few of them off the back because I'm going to forget them otherwise. We've got Ariel Olivetti, we've got Mike Zeck, we've got Jerry Ordway, who's always brilliant. And my personal favourite issue in this collection is the one with Frank Quitely. And it's all about Plastic Man's son in the future. And it's pure Quitely working with Mark Waid, who is a collaborator I think he's only worked on this with. And it's great to see those two together. Really interesting story. And this is sort of, I'd say like almost a neglected sort of classic from the past, you know, sort of overshadowed almost by its, by its predecessor, but it's well worth coming down for. If you love the original, you'll love this. It's a different take on the world. It's a different look at it, but I don't think it's any lesser for it. It's just, yeah, love this series. Highly recommend giving it a look. And then we're going to finish up with DC in the current line, in the main line, with Night Terrors from Joshua Williamson, Howard Porter, Giuseppe Camuncoli, and a few other artists contributing as well, I believe. This series is great. It's what if Joshua Williamson was writing horror, but with Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman and everyone else. It's got my favourite Robin, Damian Wayne, is a big part of it, which is always good. He improves all series, always. And yeah, it's great. Howard Porter is sort of doing a very sort of scratchy sort of horror infused art style. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's basically all the superheroes get trapped in their nightmares, and Damian and Deadman possessing Batman have to save the day. It's great. It's really good sort of standalone story, but also if you're following the main DC storylines at the moment, it very much chips in and furthers a few things there. So yeah, highly recommended, as well as the spin-off volumes, which are all really interesting sort of personal looks at the various characters involved. And then we're going to jump over to the Marvel U for the Fall of X, which is the sort of closing chapter of the Krakoan era of X-Men. We've got these two releases. These are the latest ones. We've got Jean Grey, Flames of Fear by Louise Simonson and Bernard Chang. And we've got Children of the Vault by Denise Camp and Luca Maresca. These series are really interesting, and if you're into the Ultimate line, Denise Camp has just been announced as the writer of the new Ultimates. So if you want to get a feel for them as a writer, this is a great place. This is carrying on with obviously the Children of the Vault, who have been playing a big part in the sort of, you know, just sort of popping up every now and again, making themselves known in the Krakoan era. And yeah, really enjoyed this. Art's great, writing keeps me going. And Jean Grey is jumping around through sort of almost like the different lives of Jean Grey. So you've got sort of original Jean Grey, you've got Phoenix Jean Grey, and you might think it's one of those Marvel series they're doing at the moment that's just a sort of flashback, just a sort of best of, but it very, very much ties into the ongoing Krakoan stuff. And Louise Simonson in particular, she knows what she's doing with Jean Grey. She's written so much Jean Grey, and this is a great chance for her to contribute to the modern story as well as Jean's like storied history. So yeah, if you want to see how Krakoa's coming to a close, can't recommend these two as enough as your sort of first port of call. And then we're going to finish on something like a little bit pricier, but absolutely brilliant. We've got the ROM Omnibus, or as it should have been called, the Romnibus. You can have that one for free, Marvel execs, but if you want any more, you know, give me a call, you know where I am. I really enjoyed this stuff. I read the ROM Facsimile edition they released a few months ago, and very much wanted to read more. This is a really great series. You've got some Steve Ditko art, you've got Bill Mantlo on the writing, and it's about sort of a space warrior who's been fighting an intergalactic war for, I think it's 200 odd years, which is a bit tiring, but he keeps going. He arrives on Earth, and he's fighting against these aliens called the Dire Race, who can, you know, blend in and disguise themselves as one of us. And he doesn't quite understand that he can't just go around shooting what look like people. And yeah, this is great. This is a real sort of cult classic. It hasn't been collected before. I think the last sort of release of these ROM Marvel issues was, God, whenever the last ROM issue was, which was probably early 90s or late 80s. So you're looking 20, 30 years. If you've heard about ROM before, like, the hype is real. Highly, highly recommend this. It's, yeah, really interesting. Great look at how sort of two properties come together with the Marvel Universe and Hasbro's ROM. And yeah, really recommend it. Great art, great story, blast from the past, can't go wrong. So that's everything that I've got for you in this video. You can find everything that I've just recommended to you in our Forbidden Planet London store and all other stores across the country, and at forbiddenplanet.com online. As always, it's been lovely chatting with you all, and I hope to see you again next time.
If you're enjoying watching Forbidden Planet TV and you're enjoying watching us talk to the world's most interesting and accomplished filmmakers, authors, artists, musicians, creators, subscribe right here. See you soon.